and welcome to One Player, where we play some solo board games. Today we are taking a trip to Tiny Town with Tiny Towns by Peter McPherson. Look at these adorable little critters. This is going to be what our town looks like at the end. This is what it looks like right now. This 4x4 grid will soon be filled with buildings. How, you ask? Well, we're going to take resources based on the cards that we pull. We're going to turn these resources into these blueprints, and then these blueprints are going to get constructed into these buildings. Simple enough, although you'll notice this is quite the small game board, only 4x4, and so once we start putting these down, and we can't move buildings once you've placed them, that's appropriate to the laws of physics. Once we put the buildings down, we can't move them, so then we're trying to build around the buildings we've already made, and we're painting ourselves into tinier and tinier little corners of the... Just watch, okay? Just watch. To start with the solo game, we're going to play 3 cards. We choose one, we put a resource down, we pull another card. Simple as that. Really easy to get going, and then really, really, really difficult to start. All right. Each of these buildings, I should mention, each of these buildings has been chosen at random from a pile of, I think, 4 each, except the cottage, which appears in all, and the monument card, which there's like 20 of. But each of these other buildings has been pulled from a category, essentially. So like these are like pubs and farms and like church buildings. And so we've got various buildings that are going to interact with one another, scoring as victory points at the end of the game. So for example, this cottage will score us 3 victory points if it is fed. We have to feed it with the orchard, but the orchard only feeds buildings in the same row and column. So we're going to have to make sure that wherever our orchard is, we've got cottages strategically placed so that they are fully fed with apples. Likewise, the bakery can only score points if it's adjacent to the orchard. The temple can only score points if it's adjacent to 2 or more fed houses. The fountain only scores points if it's next to another fountain. So we're going to at least have to have 2 fountains somewhere in the town to get any points out of this card at all. And here within lies the strategy that I haven't quite come to terms with yet of placing your buildings in the right spots. Once you start putting resources down, you are generally committing to the kind of space-ish where you're going to put them on the board, because you have to place them in one of the spots you've used with the blueprint. Do you follow me? I think I follow me. Did I say we're going to start? Yes, I did. Okay, we're going to start. What the heck do we do first? We've got brick, we've got stone, we've got wood, and I mean, I do tend to like building houses first, but to be honest, I'm not really sure where to go. If we start this orchard, do we want to have it? We've got to have houses and bakeries adjacent to it. In the same column as it, and then we've got to have temples. So we're gonna have a temple and a orchard kind of diagonal from one another, aren't we? So that they can both be adjacent to houses, and then a temple up here somewhere. No, sorry. A bakery. Yes, a bakery. Yes, that's what I meant. A bakery up here somewhere. The stress is already getting to me, guys, and we haven't even placed our first brick. Let's place exactly that. That's going to be the start of my temple. This is going to be the start of my orchard, right thither. And this is going to be the end of my temple, as denoted on said temple card. This is going to... do I want to play 2... See, this is the trick too with the solo game. If we pick too many of the resources like close together, so if I play like brick and then brick and then brick, I'm going to have a massive glut of brick in my deck. There's only 15 cards in here, so they're going to come up quite quickly. But then I'm going to have a massive brick overload, maybe when I don't want it. So there's some strategy there as well, I think, of like trying to make your deck as balanced maybe as possible. So why don't we pull some wood? Because we've pulled everything else except for wheat, because it hasn't come up, and there it is. So we've got one of everything, right? So now there's kind of a nice balance. That makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Let's pull a wheat then. Let's just get that pattern going. We've got another wheat, but we could use another stone, could we not, for the temple? I believe we shall. We shall stone that, and then brick. All we need is another brick here and another wheat here. and we shall have ourselves a temple and an orchard. Brick it is then, and as soon as our blueprint is finished, you can see here, I have a blue, a grey, a red and a red. I don't have to, but I can now choose to turn this into the building that I have blueprinted for, if that's a thing. So I will. Mostly one, because I want to clear up the space on the board. All of these 4 resources now get put back into the resource pile and get replaced with one lovely, I mean, admittedly, lovely looking church meeple in any one of these 4 squares. Now, as far as plans go, this one was the first one that I had. Don't know if it's the best, but that's what we're going to do. So that's where the temple lives now. We can't move it. It's stuck. So everything else we do has got to move around this. Now, if I remember correctly, we said we wanted to put a house here and a house here. And we want to put a bakery here. Or maybe we should... now I'm already second guessing because now I can't put a bakery here, can I? If I make this cottage... No, if I make this orchard here, I cannot fit the bakery blueprint into that space. So I think my bakery is going to have to go here, like this. These little 4 here. So we can rotate this around, right? So we can put this, as long as it's, you know, rotationally accurate. So if we put a yellow, a blue, and 2 reds there, then we'll have our bakery here next to the orchard here. That's the plan. Once again, sit back and relax and watch everything go to absolute rubbish. So that is our orchard. We can start feeding our populace, of which there are currently 0. That's our orchard, and we're going to place it down in this little middle spot here. I haven't worked out if it's best to start at the edges and work in or start in the middle and work out. I honestly just don't know, and I don't think, really, because of the variability of this, you're ever going to know, which I suppose is probably, well, that's the draw of the game, isn't it? It's always going to be challenging. It's always going to be different, and you're never going to be able to learn how to play it the best. Ooh, that's frustrating, but I love it. Let's keep going. We've got no more raw resources on our board. We've used it all. Do we put down some glass and start building a nice little house? Or do we aim for our bakery first? I don't really remember what we did. I don't remember what things are coming through the deck yet. Now, we're going to put glass down here. That's going to be our cottage. So we're going to have to get a a wheat and a brick in this order here. Now, this is unfavorable because we don't really have a great place to put any of this. We don't really yet need another orchard, and I don't think that we will need another orchard. We also probably don't... I have yet to figure out whether these are worth building in the solo game. So this is like usually like a warehouse or a factory, or I think there's one more card, but I can't remember it. But it's usually about like storing resources. So like your resources, your draw, you're not as reliant on the draw. Now, in a multiplayer game, everyone's choosing their resource. You can choose exactly what you want, and obviously maybe choosing exactly what your opponent doesn't want, right? So this becomes helpful because you can then kind of negate that slightly by stockpiling resources yourself. I suppose if we did build this, it would be nice to have, because we could, say, stockpile and then change when we didn't want the things. But I think we just end up with having 2 stone and a wood on there, probably, and then we lose victory points for each resource left on it at the end of the game. So, big old building too. We've got to wait 5 turns. We've got to get 5 perfect tiles down. With that said, we could also build a fountain. To build a fountain, we just need 2 of these. We can put it somewhere in the corner, and as long as it's adjacent to another fountain, it scores 2 points. So it's not the worst thing that we can do. And I think that probably is what we'll try to start with. Unless... This is worth 2 points, and empty squares near your town are worth 0 instead of -1. That is something we haven't quite covered yet. If I don't build any buildings on a particular square, I lose points. This would negate that, and I do quite like that. Maybe we should put this up here somewhere. We put this out of the way in the corner and use up a stone. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that right there. And what have we got? We've got a brick. So that's fine, because we can put some... We can continue our cottage plans, can't we? So we're going to put a brick down there. Pardon my erratically whining dogs. And we're going to put a glass up here to work towards our cathedral. Now, we've got a wheat which could finish off the cathedral or could finish off the cottage. I don't really think it matters per se, so why don't we do the cottage first? So we're going to put a wheat down there. We've now got a nice little rotated cottage, and we're going to place this little house meeple, and we're going to place it right there. So, I guess I'll get to it. So we need to place a house here. Let's not forget that, because we need it to be next to the church and we need it to be fed. So it has to be in the same row and column as this orchard. It has to be here then, essentially, to get fed and to have the temple make points. So we need to have it here, which means we really either need to build it first and then build the cathedral, or we need to build the cathedral, get it out of the way, and then build our cottage like around this little corner here, which seems fine. I think that's what we'll do. Let's get rid of one of these wood, because I'm a bit wary about having it just sitting out there, and we've pulled a stone as well. So should we just build a fountain up here? Yeah, let's just build a fountain. I'm just going to throw it in the corner again. So I mean, the maximum it's going to be worth is 4, isn't it? So it's got... No, it's only 2 if it's adjacent, so you don't score for extra adjacents. So it's only going to be worth 2. The max. Fine. Fine. Now we've got some more glass. That isn't helpful, because we need a wheat to go here before we can put our glass here for this next cottage. I'd like to maybe also save some, maybe this row can just be for taverns too, because you get, if I manage to fit 2 taverns in here, I will be, oh, I forgot to take this off. That went towards the fountain, yeah. If I'm able to fit 2 taverns on this bottom row, I will score 5 points. So 5 points for 2 squares on the board isn't bad. And then I would still, if I get my taverns down here, these 2 spaces, I still have room to put another house in here. Oh, I mean, like I said, is it even worth planning at this point? I don't know. Maybe not. Let's pull this glass, shall we? Let's just start a tavern. Start a tavern down there. Oh, I don't want any more wood though, please. Please stop. Stop it. Let's take it, because I want it to go away. That's what we needed, and I think we're going to use that to build our cathedral. So the Cathedral of Katerina, that is our monument. Bing! Look at these cool little... Yeah. So our monument, let's just stick it in the corner. Doesn't need to be adjacent to anything, doesn't need to be like next to anything, well that's the same thing. Doesn't need to be like close to anything to get points. It scores 2, and then whatever empty squares we've got, essentially will score as 1, because instead of -1, they're getting 0. That seems like a pretty good deal. Now, more stone, because that is what everybody wants. Now we've got a fountain here, and both fountains are now scoring 2 points, so that's quite lovely. I'd like a house here, please, and I'd like some taverns. As discussed previously, I think I mentioned that I would like a tavern down there. Ooh, some wheat as well. Let's get this and start building a little house. We've got to build a house here, remember? Now this is going to be a bit of annoying, because I'm only going to be able to build another fountain up here, basically. Right, like that's my only choice once I block this in. But that's fine, it'll score 2 points. So it's not the best that I could do. Maybe I put a house up here. Ooh, did I then place that a bit too... Right, I just had to step away for a moment to catch the last post, so apologies for the strange lighting change, the longer shadows, the sun is setting in Tiny Town. I believe where we left off, I just kind of done a little cheeky move of this, because even though you're not really supposed to go back and alter things and whatnot, I think I hadn't placed anything else yet, I think. So if I put this here, I'm so lost, but I think what my plan was to get a house here and then get a house here. Yeah, that was it. Because otherwise this was going to be a house here and then nowhere else, right? I think that was what it was. So we're going to go for glass, brick, and then another house. So we've got 2 houses in this column, and then whatever goes here, maybe another one here. So we've got another 2, so that'll be 12 points from houses. I think that's where we were. If it wasn't, my apologies. I know I could just check the video, but just whatever. Come on. So let's build some Put some glass, put some windows in a cottage made of wheat currently. And let's do that. And then don't want to be left with brick and with wood and stone again, because I don't want any more wood and stone, please. I don't want any. I suppose this would be really sneaky and a bit of a risk, but if I did both wood and... Now that I know I've got wood, stone and brick, I could do wood, stone here, build a fountain, then put my brick in. Ah, yeah, see, now we're getting tricky. Stone time. See, stone where the brick should go, see, and then wood where nothing else would have gone. And that way, we've just got ourselves a little fountain, an extra cheeky 2 points over there. Yeah. And then we can play brick. And we'll put that brick up here and get ourselves another little cottage. Yes, yes indeed. Things are working out. Now we really do need to make sure that we get a cottage in here, because I remember that this needs to be next to 2 fed cottages. And so it shall be, for we have the ingredients of a cottage right here. Also, I recognise I want to be working towards my taverns, because if I put my... Oh, tricky. What should I do first? If we put 1 tavern down, we get 2 points. The risk of getting 2 taverns down and getting 5 points isn't as good, right, as if we get a guaranteed... We can have a guaranteed 2 points or guaranteed 3 points. So let's just get the guaranteed 3 points, I think. Let's go with brick. Yep, just as I thought. Some more wood around the corner. What about some... Yep, and there's some stone. That makes a lot of sense as well. And then wheat. And, oh, more glass, which doesn't help us at all. Wheat. And we've got now a little cottage. A nice little cottage. And our temple is fully fed. So we're scoring 4 points for you, and you are still in the same line, so you're scoring 3 points. That's 6 points, 10 points, so many points, I think. I don't know. Now what? Because we've got something here that we don't really want. I wonder if we just put glass here in preparation for hopefully getting some more brick? Or do we just kind of say, like, well, get rid of this wood and stone, put another fountain in? Because I feel like we're going to get wooded and stoned out in the next few card pulls, aren't we? That's what I'm thinking, at least. I don't know that to be the case, but that is what I'm thinking. Now, we could still manage a tavern this way, too, if we play our cards correctly. I suppose theoretically I could still build another cathedral, but why would I want to do that? There's only 2 points and I could get a cottage in here. Oh boy, I'm not sure. And as soon as we put one fountain in here, we won't have any more room to build another fountain, so it won't score anything. So that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? But if we put glass... Oh no! Okay, so we committed to it. So we put glass here. Now we're going to have to put wood. Well, you know what? We'll try and... Oh, we won't be able to build it though, will we? Because we'll have to put our... If we build our tavern here, we can't build another tavern. Unless we build this tavern first, and then this tavern, and then this becomes our fountain. We score another 2 points for it. I guess we try that. So we got wood here. What is this going to be? It's wheat, which is... No. That's not what I wanted. I could, I suppose, though, change of plan, build a cottage now? Yeah, I guess. So wheat goes here, and now I've actually got a nice cottage, so 3 points to you right there. Now we do have an empty space, but it's not going to lose us points because of our lovely cathedral in the corner. It's a bit of a basic town, isn't it? I mean, we don't really have very much by way of entertainment, but we've got plenty of places to live. We're feeding everyone, and we've got 2 churches. Very religious, very devout in Tiny Town. Now then, we've got a wood up there. We need 2 bricks right here, which is where we could do with a little brick glut, but I don't think we're going to get one. If we put a stone down... If we put... Oh, we've got a brick. Okay. I shouldn't be pulling this before I put it down. I apologise. I shouldn't be doing that. But anyway, I was planning to put my stone here, so if we make a fountain here, we can still maybe fit another fountain in and get another 4 points. I don't know. Brick. We're going to build this tavern. I don't care what you say. It's going to be another brick. No, it isn't. Okay, so we've got a throwaway wheat. We've got a wood. Where's my tavern need to be? Oh, it just needs to be anywhere, but it only scores me 2 points. So, whatever. So, I guess, should I build just a fountain and then see what happens if we can get a brick? Wait, what did I just take? A wood? Yeah. So, wood it there, turn into another fountain, and then hope that this is a brick. Oh, it's not. Okay, that's also... No, that's not fine, is it really? I mean, it's not fine. Okay, so now we've got to do a throwaway up here in this space because that's what we're going to do. And then we've literally got one last turn to make this into a brick. If we make it into a brick, then we might be able to make another fountain and clutch another 4 points out of it. I don't know. Well, so if we should save our stone for that eventuality. So wheat it is. We're going to put some wheat in this space, and this card is going to be... Oh, that's a shame. Well, there you go. That's just how the cookie crumbles in Tiny Town. We don't have cookies, we've got apples. Apples only to feed all these people. So that's a bit annoying because now I've got 5 spaces that I didn't use, which is a bit of a shame, and this isn't going to score us any points. Do we have a brick even close? No. It would have been 2 more turns. So I would have needed this to be, yeah, so I was pretty close. I would have needed this to be wood to put it there, and then I would have pulled brick. Oh, that would have actually been perfect. So it's actually just these 2 that were in the way, or they were the wrong way around. If I'd had blup, I could have done blip, right? Oh, no, I couldn't. No, I couldn't. I still wouldn't. No. All right. Post-mortem complete. I don't think it didn't go that well. But anyway, so now what we do is we take all our resources off the board. We're left with the empty spaces. Now, like I said, normally we would take away points, but we're not because we've got the cathedral. And then we get this handy-dandy scoring pad, which I shall tear a brand new sheet off for. So we score as follows. Per building... We look at the layout, or we don't have any warehouses, so we can solidly put a 0 in there. Now we've got 4 fed houses, so that's going to score us 12 points, 3 each. All right, and they're fed because of the orchard here. We've got 1 temple, which is adjacent to 2 or more fed houses, correct? 1, 2, so that scores us 4 points. We did not manage to build a tavern, despite our best efforts, and we did not managed to build a bakery either. We did, however, build a lot of fountains. So we have scored 2, 4, 6 for fountains, and we've scored 2 for the monument. We don't score anything for this. This would be your negative points. And so what's that? We've got 24. It's not my best round, I don't think, but it's not awful. It's somewhere in the middle, I think. Let's see. This is one of the games where it does tell you how well you've done, based on their expectations. So let's consult the rules. We are all right. So I mean, we're lower end of middle. We're a carpenter. I think if we'd have made that stick, well, so we're close to being an engineer, but we're a carpenter. I think if we'd made this last one stick, just been a little bit more careful with that regularity of brick, I think we could have been able to make it up at least a few points. We would have got a tavern, which would be 2 points, probably another fountain, which would be that would be a total of another 6 points. We'd be on 30, and that would feel okay. And that would actually equal my best score. I've only ever scored 30. That's the game. It's a great little puzzle, and I think it's a lot of fun. It reminds me of there's a game. I can't remember the exact name of it, but there's an iOS game where you've got little bears and you're like combining all your bears and your bushes, and then they all go like bleep and they turn from 3s into 1s. I don't remember what it's called, but it's similarly adorable and yet similarly challenging in terms of fitting everything into like an ever shrinking grid. Like the variability of the games that I've played thus far, either by myself or with other players, has been immense. Like this board looks nothing like the other boards that I've finished with. And so based on the things you pull from the available cards, of which, like I said, there are a rather large amount, based on whatever you pull, your game is going to look very different and your tactics are always going to look different. So like this, look at this. If you pull a farm, it just feeds 4 houses anywhere. So you don't even need to worry about where your houses are. You just put your farm down and you're good. Whereas we had to be a bit more tactical about slipping in cottages next to and around the orchard. Yeah, so there's a lot of variability which I enjoy, and obviously, I mean, I can't sing the praises of these tiny buildings enough, but I mean, come on. Look at this little ale house. It's adorable, and the color scheme is wonderful. There's little hedgehogs. I don't know what more you want, you know, in a game. What more do you... What else could there be? That's going to be it from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, you know, don't hesitate to drop a like. Leave a comment if you have anything to say. If I did mess up on that little break, that little interlude, let me know. Well, I guess I'll figure it out when I'm going through the editing. But anyway, yeah, leave me a comment. And anyway, don't forget to subscribe, obviously, because you want to know when my next videos are coming out, don't you? You want to watch more videos, and, you know, the video on the screen maybe, or the subscription button somewhere around there. Yeah, that is going to be it from me. Now I've finished rambling. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.